Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is Edge Hockey Company founder, Kenny. I've got Frank, the youth director, and I've got Lewis, the marketing manager. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Doing all right. Good. How are you?
Good. Now, we do have a couple others that may or may not be able to jump in. We've got Joe and we've got Anthony. I'm not sure. They were on a few minutes ago, but then internet connections. Joe's down in Florida dealing with some torrential downpours there. So his internet kind of kicked out. Frank, you're down there in Florida too, right?
Yes, I am.
How's the weather down there besides the horrible rain?
It was 85 and raining. So I just had dinner with Joe. So now we're both back at our respective condos. So
nice. Yeah, it's raining up here, but with snow.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're missing out.
I know.
So Kenny, you're the founder of Edge Hockey Company. Give us a little background as to what Edge Hockey Company is and how you decided to come up with this unique brand opportunity.
Well, I kind of grew around hockey from my cousin. He actually played for Loyola, and then he played for OHL for Plymouth Whalers. I never played hockey personally growing up. I was around it. And then from there, he played Rockford Ice Hogs. And then I honestly got into hockey, playing and everything last year. And I met all these guys. And then I saw how much money it was and everything for just hockey sticks. And, I played a little ice, and then we were doing a lot of roller hockey, and the sticks just get beat up even on the tile. And we started playing. I'm like, I used to play paintball, and I had my own team, and it was actually Chicago Edge. And I kind of made the logo in that based off of hockey. And when we were talking, they were talking about playing Salt Creek League and that. And I'm like, oh, I'll play, And then I'm like, why don't we just make our own new team? Because we always played together. We practiced almost all the time. It was the same group of guys. And we all were like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, we'll just use my same logo. We'll make a new design. And then we're playing more. And I'm like, why don't we just, I want to make my own hockey company, start off with sticks and stuff like that. And it just came, I'm like, let's just make it Edge. It goes with hockey, it's catchy. It's not a big name or weird name. You see some of these off-brand companies and you don't even know how to pronounce it. And then me and Manny, I was talking with him, or Lewis, and I'm like, he's really good with our marketing and that when we posted like team meetups and stuff, so we could get more people together at the rink and stuff like that to just play hockey and just sit together. And he agreed, and then we just started. I don't know how to say it. It just boomed. It all fell together. It literally just all fell together. And we're waiting just on some of our product, their sticks, to come in a week. Then we could showcase that, and then get our website and everything going for that. But I'd like to grow it more from just sticks. I want to make some nice gloves and stuff like that, and make our own roller hockey pucks too, because all the pucks now, they all break all the time. So
yeah. What pucks have you tried out so far? Because Green Biscuit is notorious for smashing and blasting.
Almost. I mean, Dave played a little bit more roller than me, but from experience from like a couple of guys that shoot pretty hard, and we, when we don't have a goalie, everyone plays post. So you're railing them off the goal post, and we use just the green biscuit, the roller hockey ones, and they tend to last. But I came up with an idea for the rivets not to break, because that's what really breaks on those more than the puck. Instead of using like those flat, I think those, what is that brand, IBS or whatever, the round pucks they use for the indoor roller. IDS, yeah.
Yep.
And those are good pucks, but when you're playing on that sport court outside with the square holes in the tile, it bounces and stuff. It doesn't stay down like the biscuit. So, but yeah, I had an idea for a puck for that. But that's pretty much the puck we use. Anything else you start playing, it doesn't bounce right or it breaks. You hit the boards, they crack, especially when it gets colder, because we play till when it still gets cold. Right. So,
well, I know that there's another puck out there that just hit the market called the Xeno puck, or the Xeno puck, XENO. It's literally just like an ice hockey puck that slides on sport court and concrete like you would not believe.
It sounds interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not tried that.
Well, I just happened to come across it just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, man, this actually might be something worth looking into. So I haven't had a chance to do anything outside of that research yet.
Should have sounded like it for sure.
Yeah, might be worth something looking into, though. So, Frank, tell us a little bit about you. You are the youth director for the Edge hockey team. You guys got a Narch tournament coming up here in the next couple of weeks for the Narch qualifier. You guys are playing in one of the divisions. You're not sure if it's men's AA or men's AAA. Both divisions are going to be very tough, especially coming out of that Chicago, because you'll have the teams from St. Louis coming up. You'll have a couple of teams from the Michigan area coming over as well. So tell us a little bit about that team and what you guys are looking forward to.
I think that we have the youth and we have the high caliber talent on our squad to make a good run in the tournament. I think that we will be a good showcase for the brand and where it's going to go and how we're going to advertise for people who want to play at a high level with affordable sticks that are going to last. And I think that we will show that.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. And you're still in high school. You're a junior, you said, at one of the local high schools there. Do you play ice hockey at all?
I do. So I play for the Chicago Fury. I'm a goaltender.
Okay.
It's 18U AAA ice hockey. So, yeah.
Nice. Now, tell us a little bit about the high school hockey aspect of it, because I was in Minnesota last year for the Let's Play Hockey Expo, during which was the state finals. And I don't know if you've ever been to Minnesota during that time, but it's absolutely nuts. 40,000 people just to watch a week-long worth of high school hockey right there going for the state championship. And it's phenomenal. I will tell you that much right now.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think, but the thing is with the state of Illinois and AHIS, which is the Amateur Ice Hockey Association of Illinois, they don't let AAA players double roster with high school. So the talent pool in high school is a little bit, I don't want to harp on it and say it's weaker, but I think without the high quality players that you'll get in AAA and junior, that this is not high of a caliber. But I think that it still got pretty exciting. I think the state championship was a good game. I was at the two state semifinal games between St. Ignatius and York, and New Trier and St. Viator. Those were both great games.
New Trier is always in the finals.
Yeah, great support from each fan base. I think that if AAA were to get a fan base like that, I think it'd be awesome for us as AAA players, like me, Joe, and Anthony. We all play AAA hockey, so I think if we were ever to play in front of a crowd like that, I think that would get us going.
Oh, that would be sweet. And hopefully, at the Narch tournament coming up in April, do you know the date? Because I think it's the same weekend as the championships for college. Am I not mistaken on that? The 13th, 14th?
I believe it's the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely going to be happening during the collegiate roller hockey finals that's happening out in Maine. Yeah, and then the Lake Forest Academy. Do you know anything about that? Just tell me a little bit if you know anything about it.
Minimally, yes. So a goaltender that I tried out with for my team that I ended up making, like he played there and he played for Lake Forest Academy, and he filled a role. He did a great job. And apparently, he had a great year. He said he really liked the team and how it all turned out.
Yeah, well, the only reason why I ask is because I have my fiance's cousin's husband is an assistant coach for the local high school team. They ended up playing Detroit Catholic Central, who only lost this year was to Lake Forest Academy over in at Lake Forest Academy. And they dimed them. They beat them 8-0 after two. So it was pretty brutal.
I heard they had a great team. I heard they had a Division I commit for NCAA go to Lake Superior State.
Yep. Yeah, and a few others. Yeah, and a few others because they. I think that was their fifth straight state title that they had won too. I think it would have been. I think if COVID hadn't happened, it would have been their seventh straight. So,
really?
Yeah, that's crazy. So, all right. Lewis, tell me a little bit about your marketing strategy as to what you're going to do to help build up the Edge Hockey Company brand.
So I kind of came to a more low key perspective. Well, in my essence of like how I wanted to attract like the viewers and just like people who would be interested in our product. Essentially, me really came to the idea of we want to really contribute small at the moment. So we're just looking at high school, college teams, kids between 15 to 20, essentially that age bracket. We also do want to cater to a younger audience, but I feel that the ages between 15 and 20 are just so important to hockey, especially because that's really essentially the engine that kind of builds hockey in a sense, because it's just AAA, the AA, the high school teams, the college athletes. These are the kids that really kind of promote the game in a sense. The NHL, the professional leagues do their best, but I really think that without these kids between these ages, we really wouldn't have like that hockey culture of those parents that are dedicating themselves, presenting, and just without those kids, I don't think hockey would be really what it is. And for me, I kind of look down from just speaking with Frank and Laz and hanging out with them and just kind of, I guess, acknowledging like these phrases and words and vocabulary and kind of the culture, kind of like analyzing that type of stuff. It really directed my attention, whereas my approach should be very low key, genuine, and just interested. I mean, if me and Kenny, when we're presenting ourselves to influencers, kids around the area, and also high school and college teams, we don't want to introduce ourselves as just a business. We want to be, hey, we plan to introduce ourselves, talk, have Zoom calls. We've done these things where we introduce ourselves. We don't want to be just, again, as I mentioned, just like these individuals that want to make profit. Our whole purpose for this brand is to enhance hockey. It's not to profit. It's not to make us look good. It's to have these parents not have that financial burden to have to pay for almost $1,200 or just not have to spend their whole entire bank account or whole paycheck on sticks and equipment. And if we can successfully provide equipment that is
at that high caliber,
at the high caliber as we've been working on these couple months, I think that's my achievement for sure. And on the topic of just marketing, normally I just shoot a DM or a Facebook message, kind of just use social media as a free asset. I mean, use what you have. And I think that's what my parents have always told me, is use the tools you have to approach something that you want. And I spend probably 8-9 hours a day on social media after work, after school, and I love it. It's very important to me, and to have the opportunity to help people and to invest time into making the game more affordable for everyone, for people that don't have that financial privilege. I mean, that's something that I really care about. For sure, I've told Kenny often, I'm like, we really need to invest in these local communities where hockey's not available. And I think once we get to that point with our sales, we definitely want to start making donations into areas of with lower privilege of being able to like have hockey is accessible. And for sure, as what Frank is doing at the youth programs, we really want to introduce these kids to what makes hockey so special. And honestly, with the current brands, it's not possible because of all these expenses and fees and things like that. I think it really limits the opportunity of the game. And I really do say this often that at the NHL and a lot of these pro leagues, they kind of limit themselves in the sense of that they're not really marketing broader in a sense. They're not really looking at with their eyes open. I feel like there's so many countries like in South America or Australia or especially in Europe or anywhere, honestly, besides just North America primarily. Like there's so many opportunities of these players, potential kids that could be superstars. And I think if the game focuses itself on these small groups of kids and these communities that really deserve the game, that's kind of where hockey's going to start evolving into the new NBA or that comparison, just like how the NBA is. Like they know how to market completely. And I tell Ken often, I'm like, I studied how the NBA kind of just does their interactions with their youth and the interactions with getting people involved. And I admire that because they're very smart in how they attract these new clients and customers and kids especially. And if you want to grow the game, if you want to grow any form of brand marketing or anything like that, you have to attract children. And if you do it right, I think you'll excel correctly.
Yeah, and that's it's funny that you mentioned the NBA because a lot of comparisons between roller hockey and basketball is very similar as far as their strategy, as far as the breakouts, the plays, in the way that the defense is set up. Because you have essentially the same number of guys on the floor, on the rink at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little bit different, but essentially the strategy is basically the same. And then also when you revert back to the countries across the country or across the world, you have Chinese Taipei as a prime example. Look at what they did in the World Juniors. I mean, they freaking went out there and dominated. Look at Namibia; their junior women's team just smoked Team USA's. I think the score was 9-2 at one point.
Yeah.
So I mean, like those little countries, that are taking the time to build on their community, invest in their community. I mean, look at Namibia again. Namibia, another prime example. 5 clubs. Each club has about 100 to 110 members. So you're looking at 550 players, but they're all playing together and they're dominating, as well. Same thing. You have pro leagues in France. You have pro leagues in Spain. You have pro leagues in Germany, all for inline. And not many people know about that.
No, it's a lack of marketing, I think. But, well, maybe the interest of maybe in North America, but like it's really impressive seeing all these like teams in France and Spain. And as you mentioned, I really enjoy seeing that content where it's like, man, these guys are amazing. It's like it's crazy just to watch them just go by it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I just watched the Copa de France 2 weeks ago, and that was insane. Like you literally take all of your professional French teams, both in the upper division and the lower division, you put them in one giant tournament, just like the NCAA March Madness style, and boom, here you are. And then you get the top 4 teams, and one of them was from the lower division. And they have a relegation system too, which I think is amazing. And it's tough for the U.S. to do that, I think, because ice hockey is so big. Because you have so many opportunities to play junior ice. You go up to Canada, you can go, to the U.S. There's several different juniors. You have the NAHA or HL. You have college. You have junior college. You have the ACHA. All of these, the ECHA, UHL, the Federal Hockey League. I mean, all of these different, ice hockey leagues here in the States, that it's kind of hard that the talent pool kind of gets sucked away unless you grew up playing roller hockey and you have a full-time roller hockey facility nearby, like you guys do with Palatine or Salt Creek.
We're pretty lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kenny, tell us what type of products are you guys bringing in? You've mentioned sticks. That was the one thing that kind of caught my eye, was that you are trying to bring affordable hockey sticks to the masses, anywhere from ranging from 125 to 145. I think was missing that.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing those. Are you getting those sticks? Are you designing those sticks and then getting them made?
Yeah, I designed them personally.
Yeah.
Like I went out and I talked to a bunch of like the high schoolers, like Anthony and Frank, and then I asked like opinions on what they like on their stick, or if they just like it because of the performance of the stick, you know. But the big factor was also their price, what they pay, and obviously we're not just marketing towards roller hockey; it's also ice, because all these kids play AA, AAA, and higher, and so on. But we go out, and when I seen them when we play roller hockey, they're not playing with the same quality sticks they go use on the ice that they're used to playing at their high level. And I'm like, why is that? And they go, I don't want to ruin my $300-400, stick. It doesn't matter from the new Proto R, Nexus Sync, all that. And I'm like, but why would you not want to have the same performance on roller as the ice? Especially this is your practice when you're not on the ice and we're still having fun, and it's just too much money. And I was like, well, what if you were able to have like a cool looking stick still, not just something just blank or just threw something on it, and it had the same performance, if not better, or quality as you would that high end stick you like using. A lot of guys like using Nexus Sync, for example. And I see a lot of sticks break too, and most of them are low kick sticks. And a lot of these younger kids like to do their one-timers and stuff like that. Some wanted to do it just to be cool. I get it. But all of them break towards the bottom of the stick, and it's not really made for that, especially when you're using, under a 70 flex stick. So most of the sticks that they use when they're on ice that are good is, for example, the Nexus Sync is a mid-kick. So I wanted to lean towards that and design off a mid-kick stick and then see price point on that. And I asked, a few, and I looked at prices of these high-end sticks these kids want, but are also just getting, and it's right around $300, to $400 if you got tax and stuff too now, and the taxes are more. And I said, well, what if you had that same stick, but it was like our brand Edge, but you were able to buy, you told your parents or whatever, if you had to have parents buy it, if you were able to get 2 or 3 sticks for the price of one. And they're like, absolutely. And I was like, all right. So I also wanted to have a stick price still with tax and such, or shipping too, less than $200, even $180. So I want to put our senior sticks at $145, and with tax and such, it's still less than some of the competition. So, and then the intermediate too, $10 less, $135, and then junior, and we will have youth, but we're kind of marketing right off the bat towards, like we said, 15 to 20-year-old kids that break sticks or use more. They're not. You have the youth, and don't get me wrong, we want to help the youth, but not a lot of them are sitting and breaking sticks. They could break 1-2 a game, or 1 month. Right. You could go through 4. It depends on how good you're playing. You have one game, I was saying, you're playing really good and a lot of power that day, and you broke one shooting a one-timer, or someone slashed your stick. You got a brand new stick, and you don't have a backup of the same one. Now you got to go, you have a 300, let's just say 80-gram stick, and it's nice. You love it, right? And one day somebody didn't like you on the ice, slashed it, or you hit it against the board or something, broke, and now you don't have a spare of it. Like, you should have a spare of the same stick, if not 2 extras, just to be safe. And that's where I see, us coming in and having that same high-end stick for a low, affordable cost, but also the durability, not just to make money and just throw a stick out there and be like, yeah, we have the lightest stick, super fast response, and it could go on and on for marketing, and so right. And I want it to still be affordable and durable, and the kids to actually see it and be like, that's an awesome stick. Like, that thing looks awesome. And not only does it look awesome, it's the same stick pretty much that I use right now, but for a third of the cost. Like, I could probably, I would see, like, I could go to my parents and be like, hey, I could get 3 of these, instead of just you buy me one nice stick and I have to worry about saving it for, all my games. I could have 3 and not worry about it. I could go off the ice and practice with the same quality stick and leave one for practice and have one nice fresh stick for my game instead of using one same stick. Because I see a lot of guys like, I only have one stick. It's a real good one, but it's only for ice. This, I get like cheap sticks just to practice with. And it's like, you shouldn't, be like that. It should be having the same stick. If you're using one stick for your performance and when you're playing on the ice and that for your high league and that, you should still have the same performance off, even roller or ice. It depends on what you play. So that's where I pretty much had the idea, and I said, I'm going to do this. What's the worst, happen? You have to start somewhere.
Right.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and when I was playing years ago, back in the early 2000s to 2015, I would always have my pro sticks separate from my sticks that I would play in rec league because I didn't want that guy who was being a turd Ferguson step on it during a face-off or take a slash when you didn't need to.
And you're
I
out,
always tried
you're out your stick.
Yeah. And you're out up, like you said, $300-$400 stick. The other thing too is that I always had was outdoor sticks. So what I would do was if I broke a stick, I would just flip it upside down and stick an insert, like a replaceable blade, and then break the shit out of them.
Yeah, but like nowadays, the guys have to still use the same, carbon composite sticks, roller, street, and all that. And then when you start using it outdoors, how it, eventually wears out on the bottom, even, playing on tile, except for the smooth stuff like at Salt Creek. It really isn't wear out there. But when you tend to just go play outside, concrete, even on the sport court that we have by our house, because the Blackhawks donated the Blackhawks outdoor rink. That's where we mainly play a lot. Yeah. And that tile still has the gaps in it that'll, kind of chew your wheels a little bit depending on your softness. And then the stick, eventually it'll just wear out at the bottom of the blade. So
Easton came out with the blade back when I was playing, and it had been there for a minute, where the bottom of the blade had almost like a
it was like that plastic, right? Yeah.
Almost like a plastic composite built in with the actual blade itself. And those, I would break those in half because it would be plastic melded in with the wood. I would break those more than I would break anything else. But I loved them because they lasted a really long time as far as on the ground with the durability versus the composite stick if I would have just used my pro stuff.
Yeah. So
well, that's cool. That's cool that you're looking to bring low, affordable costs. I'm assuming you're going to have an apparel line at some point.
We're going to have some like shirts, some hats right off the bat too when we launch. I'm also in the market right now. I'm trying to design a nice like a pro style glove. I want to have like one nice glove right off the bat where you don't have to have a low end, a high end. I just want one nice glove at a good affordable cost too, where you're not paying, $300 for a pro style glove, compared to, right now, like is about $60 to $80 for, it looks good, the glove, but the palm and everything just eventually wears right away because all the sticks, most of them all have that grip on it. So it wears the glove out quick. Yeah. So I've been trying to figure out how I want that. But right now, right off the bat, one nice high-end stick, affordable, durable, and then glove, and then some apparel line, and then work from there.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get some apparel for the boys to wear coming up in a couple of weeks when they're taking on the rest of the men's in the men's AA and AAA divisions
Oh,
for
yeah.
Frank and the boys, because it sounds like they could be making a big splash there.
Yeah, we could get them some shirts made up really instead of so they're ready for the tournament.
Yeah, Frank, you excited and ready for that tournament?
You know, I think I got to get back in shape. I think we got to get a couple more skates at Norwood, and I think we're gonna be ready to go. Yeah, I think I just gotta keep getting after it. I gotta get new wheels though. Do you have any recommendations for new wheels?
No, I've actually been looking at wheels myself. Because I just got some new skates, and on there is the Conix Tachyon wheels. I've never skated on them. I've always skated Lebeda. So this will be the first time. For goalie wheels, I don't know too much. But for the type of surface you guys are playing on, if you guys aren't switching from, going from street to like the sport court, I would get the asphalt or outdoor wheels from Lebeda. If you don't hit concrete or asphalt with those, it'll stay tacky and you won't even have to worry about it. That's what I used when I was reffing. So I just got a brand new set of those and had no issues whatsoever. Didn't have to worry about the hardness or anything like that because of that tackiness that they have on there. But the technology these days with those wheels, you really can't go wrong. You got Conix, you got concrete, you've got Lebeda. Lebeda just dropped those new pink whips. I'm actually curious to see what those are going to be like. Because the spacers on the outside instead of in the inside, and that's just to help with the friction rubbing. So it's not hitting your wheel; it's just hitting that metal spacer. So you'll be sparking it up there for a little bit.
Yeah, I saw those. I like that design with that spacer because if you have like a lower end inline, the chassis is different. Like I have the 2X Pros and the 3X Pros, and those are the one piece chassis. So, but if you actually look on the center where the bearings meet, they're actually equal. That little thing, they grab the bearing evenly compared to like the lower end. Let's just say the RSs. One is actually round and the other's square. And when I used to have those, and one side of the bearing would grab correctly in the center and the one wouldn't, and it would like slow it down. So I had to put like spacers in there, like skateboarding. So I like that idea they did. I bought them, but the price point is right. I have to see if people say they're really good before we all, decide to at least buy 4 wheels for the one for the front and back just to see how sticky and how they ride.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, I always loved the Lebeda Addictions. That was my go-to wheel. But then again, you have to remember, I haven't played since 2015 when I had to fully retire due to a back injury. So I'm just now getting back into the game as far as playing because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do one more tournament and then I'm going to call it quits just because I know that my back won't hold up for too much longer.
If you're ever in the Chicago area, you definitely have to hit us up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I keep getting speeding tickets every time I come there. So we'll see. Like the one time I went there to pick up a buddy of mine in Germany and I was late coming back or late for a function. And I was like, I'm just going to hit the iPass, and I didn't have an iPass, and so they sent me a fine. It was like $182. So I was just like, well, I needed to get back, and I'm not gonna sit there wait in line. You know what it's like in downtown Chicago.
Oh yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, yeah. The Skyway, is that what you went to?
Well, I had to pick him up at O'Hare, and his flight was delayed from Germany by like 3 hours. Had he not been delayed, I would have been fine. But needless to say, I'm happy that I missed everything I did. But just based on how it ended up, so it's all good.
Nice.
But yeah, no, definitely we'll definitely hit you guys up when I'm in the Chicago area. I don't know if I'll be over there that way anytime soon. But I do know that Russ Christopher's been like dying for me to get over there so I can interview him. That's my boy.
He's a
Shout
cool
out
guy,
to you,
huh?
Russ. Yeah. But that's going to do it for this episode of GCH Podcast. Kenny, Lewis, Frank, again, I cannot thank you guys enough for coming on. Once we get up and going with more branding and everything like that with your products and stuff, we'll bring you back on and we'll talk some more shop.
Yeah,
All right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that. Thank you.
Appreciate
We
you for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And Frank, good luck with Narch, man. I will definitely be paying attention to those men's divisions now that I know
Thank you.
there's
Well,
men's
I'll
fighting
definitely
there.
let you know how it goes.
Cool. Appreciate it.